Well, we are about 10 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday, but I at least still needed to put on the old long sleeve shirt to feel warm enough to walk around outside. Didn't need my jacket, but still need that long sleeves. Well, waking up this morning, we felt quite a change in temperatures and even the look outside. Yesterday, we saw temperatures get up in 70 degrees and rain. But this morning, that rain has actually turned over to snow. Well, the games have already started out here at Dudy Noble Field. The skies have been clear and the conditions have been nice. Are those conditions going to continue for you? I'll give you those details coming up. That front that brought us all those showers are sitting way out here is associated with the showers there just on the eastern seaboard. And then by tomorrow, we begin to see return southerly flow from the Gulf, and that's going to give us some moisture for the next system that's going to pull through here in the next couple days. But you can tell that it's still reaching the ground. There's still debris being thrown around, which means it's a very dangerous storm. We have a tornado on the ground. If you are anywhere near Tibby and to the northeast of that, especially just south of West Point and on towards Caledonia, make sure that you are already taking shelter and the proper precautions. Like it's been said before, getting to the lowest level of the house and getting away from those windows and doors. If you're near windows and doors, as this debris is being thrown around that tornado, it could possibly come through, shattering the door, shattering the windows, and causing some very dangerous situations for yourself and anybody around you. Right now, as we zoom in here just north of Louisville, we still see the greens that transition into a bright blue. That means we have very strong winds that are moving towards the radar, which is up and to the northeast, and then we have these reds, which is moving away, and what we get is this counterclockwise rotation. Now, this counterclockwise rotation doesn't mean necessarily that there's a tornado, but that the storm is rotating, and that is a clear indication that we have the possibility of a tornado. Even if you don't see this portion of the storm where we saw the rotation, that doesn't mean out in front of it near Starkville, back towards Ackerman, just north of Louisville, all those areas are still in a very dangerous situation. With these storms, they are intensifying. We're seeing tornadoes finally being produced. We've watched them intensify over the past hour or so. With that intensification, we're not only seeing that stronger rotation with them, but we're also seeing the production of large-size hail. Well, temperatures are steadily dropping off around the area. We're seeing 61 currently in Starkville, 63 in Ackerman, 59 out in Grenada, and 60 in Water Valley. And then Oxford, the only place right now that's hit below 60, sitting at 59, and those temperatures won't drop off too much as we start to see clouds work their way into the area. Right now, there are in Arkansas just a plume almost of tornado watches, as well as some tornado warnings. There's some high wind warnings with these storms as they are crossing the delta, something we'll have to keep an eye on throughout the night. I think they will stay relatively south of 82, but we could get clipped by just a few of them. And then, of course, there were those storms that moved through Atlanta earlier. There's a second one pushing through there. It won't be nearly as strong or cause nearly as much wind damage as the previous storm, if you were watching that game, caused some wind damage around the dome where the Mississippi State Bulldogs were playing. Outside right now, we take a closer look at what's going on, and there are those showers just finally crossing into the area. Right now, they're relatively light, but there are some strong storms just off the boundary, just on the other side of the river, that are going to start working their way in. I'm not convinced that they're going to make it all the way over here with all their severity. They'll probably be downgraded to just a severe thunderstorm watch by the time they get to our area. We just don't have the dynamics that they're seeing over in Arkansas. Well, as those storms move in, you'll watch a Futurecast show them plop up right there as it starts raining late tonight, and that will continue into Saturday morning. Those showers will start to taper off sometime around noon, and then the skies will just become partly cloudy for much of Saturday afternoon, and we'll have continued clouds throughout Saturday evening as those slowly start to move off to the east and things really begin to clear up for a relatively nice start to our next week for Sunday and Monday. But there is a second system that's going to start pushing in that's right now building in California. It's going to be a much deeper, stronger system, and by Tuesday afternoon, it is sitting just over Texas, but those storms will start moving in later that afternoon. We'll start seeing showers, and once again, could possibly see some thunderstorms associated with that. For tonight, the temperatures do get down into the upper 50s. We see them reach about 56. We have those late night showers move in, and they'll possibly have some thunderstorms associated with it with a southeast wind. By tomorrow, early showers, but those begin to go away about noontime as temperatures get to about 75. That all clears out for the next couple days as temperatures reach 67 on Sunday. It's breezy for the next couple days, and then another bout comes in on Tuesday night. So we have a double hit of what could possibly be severe thunderstorms. Won't look for Wednesday or Tuesday night to really have the strength that they have now. We won't have the energy and the moisture, but we should get a good amount of rain for that. And then, of course, that all pushes out. Temperatures drop down into the mid-60s once again.
Now, Kyle, hypothetically, let's say a guy was get up from the desk and get on the road bound for Greenville, Mississippi tonight. Would that be a dangerous trip, do you think?
You're going to see some rain. Right now, it looks like those storms are pushing right across the river and headed straight towards Greenville. Now, how far they'll make it past that, we'll just have to watch and see.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Kyle.
We see a lot of the same temperatures, and we're seeing a lot of the same weather. And not just the same weather throughout the southeast, but the same weather throughout much of the U.S. We're not seeing a whole lot of clouds, and we're not going to see any rain with that either. So a lot of similar conditions out there, and that's because there's a high pressure cell sitting right over Mississippi right now, and it is just controlling the weather conditions out there. It's helping to keep things dry. It's helping to keep things clear. It also helped things to become a little cool. That's where we got those northerly winds. Circulation around this high, if you could extend that out, you can see how we would get this southerly wind. That's going to give us return moisture and help those temperatures rise up a little bit. And that moisture is definitely going to be important here in the next day or so. It pushed through really quickly through Mississippi. It didn't get really heavy, so probably not going to see a whole lot of rain. It'll probably just be very light showers, but any rain we can get is much needed rain. In fact, if we look at the estimated rainfalls throughout the area, you got to work all the way up to Memphis before you see over.
It's Ask Rob Day, so we've got the Kyle Morris edition of Ask Rob. So
I will try to fill his shoes as best I can.
I'm sure you can do it. Where's our question coming from today?
Well, it's from Whitney Lawson out of Tupelo, and she asked, I've heard people say that no weather's ill if the wind be still, and she wants to know if this is true. So she's saying if there's not a lot of strong winds, are we not going to see any weather? And typically that's pretty true, especially when you move to the north. If it's very light winds, we see conditions like what we're seeing today, where the skies are clear. We have that high pressure. High pressure's typically where you see the light winds. You get those strong winds when you have these two colliding air masses come together. That's usually with a low pressure cell, which is what we'll see pass through on Friday. That's when you get your strong winds. But living in the south, we know that we get that strong humidity, a lot of heat, and we do get some pop-up thunderstorms during the summer, even though there's light winds. So
there's like always that chance during the summer, huh?
Yeah, so overall, yeah, that's pretty true, the light winds thing. But when you get into summer, you got to be careful using that.
All right, what's the rhyme again?
It's no weather's ill if the wind be still.
Ah, first